Hey guys, I'm back. It's Bavna from Boho Snips. I hope you're all having a decent day. It's actually quite cloudy here in the UK, and I think there's some heavy downpour of rain coming soon as well. So I thought I'd actually do another video, and this video is going to be a continuation from the previous video where I showed you my DIY stencils created out of hole punches. Are they called hole punches? Not hole punches, but paper punches. And also the DIY texture paste, which I created from talcum powder, and also acrylic paint and PVA glue. So, as mentioned, this is a continuation from the last video. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to start off by showing you the stencils which I showed you in the previous video, and you know the way they've actually taken to the texture paste that we actually used on top of them. So there's been no damage done to the stencils. They're absolutely fine, as you can see. That was the actual 1/2 inch circle stencil. So these are all kind of, homemade ones that you can create at home. This is 1 inch circle punch which I used, and this particular material, or what I punched into, shall I say, it is similar to cardstock, but it's not quite cardstock. Or can I call it cardstock? I don't know, but it's got some kind of layering on top as well. But my point being is that, I did let them just naturally dry once I've applied the stencil. I didn't actually take it off with any kind of wet wipe necessarily. I just left it on there, and it's absolutely fine. Like I said previously, it's going to actually help the stencil because it's going to strengthen it, because it's like plastic acrylic paint is. So there you go. So, as I've mentioned, just create your own DIY stencils and, have a go at the DIY texture paste that we made as well. So I wanted to show you, because I didn't get a chance to show you the ones I created before with the texture paste, the DIY texture paste. So this was the stencil which I actually bought. It's not a DIY stencil, which you can probably tell. And it's so the texture paste is using a shop bought stencil, and it's been pasted onto what do you call it, music paper. So yeah, so it's I'm not sure. I'm gonna get it close up to you and see if you can see, but it's really turned out fantastic. So there's that one. Then I added some sand into that particular mixture, and this is the outcome of that. So that's turned out really well. So again, another one created on music paper, and another shop bought stencil. So these stencils were actually not shop bought. They were from stencils. They were from Amazon, which is I guess it's an online shop anyway. So it is shop bought in that sense. So yeah, I think I got a pack up. Like I said, I can't remember again. But there were so many in a pack. I think it was 6, and they were under £10. So this is quite a nice one actually. And the sand has actually created a nice thicker paste and created more texture. So, and that's what I was hoping it would do. And this one I've not actually inked up or anything. So here's another one. So that's turned out really well. So my intention for these ones are to turn them into envelopes. This is a piece of scrap which came off, and I just decided to turn that into kind of like a mini envelope of some sort, or a pocket of some sort. So there you go. And I've added the gold ink to this one just to see what it would look like. So yeah, my intention is to turn these ones into envelopes from my journal. So we can do that together. So I'm gonna put those to one side now. Following on, my apologies, I can't speak properly. And I do apologise for the lighting. Again, it's quite, like I said, it's quite a dull day, so there's not much light coming through the window. I have got 2 ring lights on, but I can tell from my previous videos that, it's still not, the videos are still not as bright. Hopefully that will change during the course of time, so I do apologise again for that in advance. So these are the ones that we did in the last video, and they've turned out really well. They dried within 5 minutes, so dry fairly quickly. These are not as this doesn't look as thick as my very first paste, but then I did add sand into that one, but they've still left a lovely mark, which is what I wanted. So there's that one, and there is the bird one, if you can see that. Just home in a bit. There you go. There's that one, and then there's this one here. So I'm just going to brighten up my screen. There you go. This is just a kind of like a background one really, but we can use this for collaging. And then which one else? So we did that one. I did the bird one. I think what I've done is put them in order in here because I'm planning to turn this into a journal, pages for my journal. So here's the heart one here, as you can see. And then here's another one. So we did the paste, the texture paste and the 1/2 inch circle one on this one, but I've placed the stencil in various places on the paper. Then we did this one here as well. So this was using this stencil, the one with different shaped circles in it. So that's turned out pretty well as well. And I think that's it really. I think that's what we did. So we did do a fair few. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to show you. The fact that the DIY stencils have survived the first, or actually the second, the first amount of texture paste on there, so they're still, you know, usable, and also the outcome of the texture paste itself as well. So I wanted to show you that, and the previous experiment that I did, wanted to show you the outcomes of those. So that's that. But my intention today is to start making the journal and start putting the pages. So I did have these in order. So I'm just going to zoom you out a second and make sure it's quite bright. So we're just going to put these in order. Now I'm just trying to think. In fact, what we'll do before we do that is, because I've just remembered that the pages that I actually used are quite thin. So the paper I use is quite thin. So we need to strengthen the papers, and particularly these ones, because like I said, they're going to be papers which I'm going to be using into my journals. So this has got quite a big hole in there as well. So I've got some plain ones which I want to put in with no stencils on them, and then I want to use the stencil ones, but like I said, I want to strengthen that. And the whole point of strengthening these papers is because they're going to be more durable as time goes on. So what I'm going to do to strengthen that is go and get my masking tape. So bear with. I think it just dropped there. So this is just a basic masking tape that I'm using here, nothing fancy, super cheap. And all I'm going to do, I'm sure you've seen many videos where people do this, where they're strengthening the papers with either washi tape or masking tape or fabric as well. You can use fabric. I'm just going to go ahead and use masking tape. Literally just place the tape in the middle of the crease. Make sure you get any holes, in particular this massive hole that I've got, and then just and what you could do is, what I might do is flip it and actually just go all the way around, but make sure that you're kind of holding on to the edge there so it doesn't pull the paper up too much. So and just go across like that, and there you go. And then just cut it where it needs to be cut, which is right at the end. Make sure you don't cut the paper, which is what I think I'm doing, but don't do what I do. So yeah, so I hope everyone's having a nice day, or a decent day. I'm just going to fold this, and then what you need to do is try and fold it back into its crease again, which can prove to be a bit tricky. So we'll do that. There we go. I think I'm in frame, and yeah, sometimes it's a bit tricky to do what I'm doing and then obviously keep it in frame. The best way to do this is to try and line up where the papers were in the end, and then create the crease that way actually. There you go. So that one's nice and taped up, so it's nice, it's got the strength on it now, and I can, you know, once I've got the signatures together, or the signature together with some thread, then the thread and the needle can go through quite nicely without ripping the paper as well. And like I said, this is super thin paper, that's why I need to strengthen it. So just bear that in mind when you're trying to work with papers as well. And it's absolutely fine to use papers that aren't, you know, thick, like cardstock kind of thick. Don't have that cardstock thickness on to them. It's not a problem, because there's always ways of fixing that, which is what we're doing right now with masking tape. And if you don't have masking tape, if you've got any kind of other tape, you know what, a bit of fabric would be more better, because it'll make it more sturdier. But we're just going to opt for this method because this is just going to be a one signature journal, so I don't feel like there's a need to actually strengthen it with fabric at this particular moment in time. But that could change, and it's okay to, you know, use masking tape and then change your mind and go back in with fabric. It's never too late. So there you go. I need to make sure that these are the right way around, but we'll do that in a second, because like I said, this particular paper, these book pages are from a Indian book, and it's a travel book. It's all about traveling in India, and I can't read Gujarati, unfortunately, even though I can speak it, because I'm actually from Africa myself. I never learnt to read and write it. So I actually came into the UK from a young age, when I was one, from Uganda in the 1970s. So I've kind of, I guess, not kind of, but I have mostly lived my life in the UK. And so I never learned to actually read and write Gujarati. Just you know, I can speak it because my parents spoke in their mother tongue at home, and so obviously I picked it up from a very young age. So yeah, it's, you know, I wish I could read and write Gujarati, but I can't, unfortunately. So this particular, again, this is from another travel book which is written in Gujarati. We're going to add the 2 pages with tape there, but let's just focus on these ones here. So this might be a bit of a long video, and it will be continued, because I don't think I can actually finish all this in 1 hour, which is where this video may be going. Or I might actually do a shorter video today and continue part 2 another day, which may be longer. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Just see how it goes, right? No plans. Just create and have some fun. Get things started. You know, even if you don't kind of finish your project, that's okay, because you can always finish it the next day. And sometimes, you know, we have other things going on in our lives which don't always allow us to finish a project, whether it be small or big or medium. And that's okay, as long as you get started and you show up, I guess, which is what I'm doing today, because I've got such a huge headache. But I thought, well, I'm going to come on and I'm going to just crack on with it. So now I need to look at my book and see which way the paper goes up. So that's the book, by the way. So I'm just going to show you the book. This is the book where the papers actually come from. I said it is a travel book, and the only reason I know that is because, like I said, I actually Googled it with Google Lens, and it told me what it was. So we are going to go with this one. Yeah. Okay, so this way around. It would be pretty straightforward if it was a music book, wouldn't it? Or just a general book. Just a general book, but it's not. To figure out which way the pages go. Right, so we know it goes this way, so I'm just going to put that for example. So that writing's at the top in the actual book. And so we're going to do that. So we've got some single pages, and then with no stenciling on them, and then we've got the pages with stenciling on them. So all I'm going to do in this instance is glue them together. Not glue them together, I'm going to tape them together. Again, so singular pages, you can do that again with masking tape, which is what I'm going to be doing. So the best way to do this in this case is to, let's just put these out of the way so we know they're done. Oh, I'll pick them up now. So what's everybody up to today? Is anybody doing anything exciting today? Or what are you up to today? Please do, you know, write down what you're up to then in the comments below. That'd be great. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please. That'd be really useful to help my channel grow and for me to continue making videos. That'd be really, really useful. The other thing I wanted to also say is that I did mention in my very first video, which was only 2 videos again, that I do have an Etsy shop and I actually sell vintage Indian fabrics. So that's trims and what else is it? Ribbons in there as well. There's lots of different things. Well, not lots of different things, but there are different items in there, which is mostly fabric, Indian fabric. So, and they're in packs. So you get a certain amount in a pack. And, you know, there are, majority are less than £10 in UK, £10. Now, having said that, I only ship to the UK at this moment in time, but if you private message me and you're interested in one of the packs, the shop link is in the bio. Sorry, the shop link is in the description box below, so it is there for you to, you know, obviously go on to. I've checked the link, the link does actually work, so do pop across and have a look. Even if you don't want to buy anything, that's absolutely fine, but you know, do have a look. And you know, you might want to suggest some other kinds of colour packs that you think might be suitable, or that you might be interested in, or you might want to have some custom made packs for you, and I'm happy to do that. That's not a problem whatsoever. As long as I've got the colours that you're requesting, then I can create a pack for you, specific, in particular if you've got a specific project in mind that you want particular colours for as well. So yeah, so just do message me, private message me. I'm happy to do that. So what I was saying is that, like right now, this particular moment in time, I do just ship to UK, and that's because of the fear of the postage costs that are going to incur onto any customers. However, if you're interested and you don't live in the UK, just message me. I'm going to put my email down in this particular video in the description box below, so you can email me and let me know where you live and which pack you're interested in, or and how much it's going to cost for postage, and I can find out if you've got, you know, from a particular country. I can look into that for you by going to the post office and getting it weighed. So we can do that as well. Not a problem. I'm happy to do that. I've done a customised pack for someone in the UK, and so I'm happy to do it for all the customers as well. So not a problem. So we've done those ones. Now I was going to use this. I've got a spare page here. Yeah, that's my collage page. So this particular page that we stenciled on, and this one I'm going to use as my front and back cover, is my plan. So these are all my pages, part of my signature, and I'm planning to also have some tea dye paper in here as well, and probably, yeah, tea dye paper for sure. And then some other papers in here as well. I'm not sure. I need to pull my papers out, which I don't have at hand right now. But I just wanted to kind of do a follow-up from my previous video and show you, you know, what you can do with these papers, which you've probably worked out already. And it doesn't have to be just for kind of creating journals with, but that's kind of my area. So I've got my front cover here. I think this one's going to be my front cover where I've got my circles, my 1-inch circles stenciled onto, if that makes any sense. And then I just need to figure out, so this is making sure this is the right way around. So this is going to be my front cover, and what I'm going to do is, so I've literally just got my smaller papers together and measured out how big the cover needs to be, as you would do with any other journal making method. And yeah, so that's going to be my front cover. So what I need to do is I need to cut this top part off. Okay, but I'm going to keep this part just to use to fold in with folding it around the other papers. So I'm just going to get my ruler. Of course you can use scissors, but we like those, well, I like those rough edges anyway. So I'm just going to tear that off, and I can use that into this particular journal as well. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So now let's have a look. Okay. So I'm not going to put these in order, or should we put them in order now? No, we won't put them in order now because I'm adding in some other papers, but I'm just going to try and figure out the front back cover right now. So that's going to be, and the other thing I wanted to say is that this journal is going to be similar to this one. Okay, so this was the no sew method, binding method of creating a journal, and this is not my idea. It came from another YouTube, and I'll put a link down below if I remember to do that. But it's literally pages from a botanical book, which I chose, and some tea dye papers with some stencil with some stamps on them, and then the binding was actually using a piece of paper which actually thread through the papers. It's difficult to explain, so I'm going to show you how to do that, but that's the aim for this particular journal, using these papers. So I'm going to do the same. So I thought, well, you know, I can just show you in one go how to do that. And I love this one. This is really great because I'm planning to use this for collaging into, just kind of experimenting into. And the other thing I was going to show you was how to make these hidden, would you say the hidden paper clips? But yeah, hidden paper clips using some images which I managed to grab, 3 images, and also images using everyday publications as well. So I'm going to show you how to create some hidden paper clips just with what you have again. Okay, so that's the cover. I'm not sure I'm going to bind it together. That's the back cover. Sorry, the front cover. I'm not with it today. And that's the back cover. So I just need to do the same. I need to take this end bit off, this extra bit that's hanging off here, and recycle. Make sure I recycle it. So let's just do that. Let's just put the crease of fold in. You can use a bone folder to kind of crease that down, and then use your ruler or scissors, whatever you fancy. Just take off the excess, and then that's it. So that's the back. So we've got my front and back cover sorted. I think that's right. Yeah, that is right. And so that will go into that. And like I said, I am adding in some other papers, so I need to be mindful of that. So yeah, so that's that. And the other thing I wanted to mention also is that I have got the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description box below, and that again, you know, that's any donations will help me to keep this channel going as well. So, you know, if you feel like you'd like to donate something, then please do so, and if not, that's not a problem whatsoever. So what have I done here? I'm just trying to figure this out. Okay. There, that needs to be folded out. So that's my front cover. Okay. And there's a reason why I've kept that little bit of folding is to strengthen and hold on to the other pages. And this is the pages, the stenciled pages, which I've strengthened with the masking tape. So that feels so much better with masking tape, to be honest. So I would recommend it if you've got some masking tape knocking around, and it is cheap. It's not that expensive to buy, and it can be used for other things like painting and decorating, which is what it's intended to be used for. So and that's, you know, why I've got it, because obviously we've been painting and decorating over the years, and I've got continuous tape lying around. So that's that. Now, what else can we do with this? I could find, first, let me just go and get some other paper. So just bear with me a second. Still here. Okay, so here we go. Plenty of papers, and I'm just going to push that on the camera so we can put a doily in there as well. So I might do that, use some of that. And I think these are signatures for other journals that I'm working on. So, you know, in here I've got a mixture. This is for a tall journal that I'm working on. In here, for example, I've got a mixture of music paper, then I've got some plain paper in here, some tea-dyed paper, or some carbon paper, I think, some tracing paper, line paper, and I think this is some kind of ledger paper, and then some graph paper as well. So I do like to use a variety of papers when I'm making journals, whether it be junk journal or an art journal or some kind of journal. So yeah, so I think I'm not going to be using this because that's already set aside for other journals. So I'll pop that to one side, but I will be using this doily, and we can use this as well. So this is from Children's Pack of Paper, I think, and this is a whole doily, but we won't be using that. And we can use this paper, so we can do that potentially. Oh, I think I know what this is. This is one of the paper packs which I'm planning to put together. So sorry, but I won't be using that either, but that's okay. I just need to find all the papers actually. Here we go. I've got some tea-dyed labels here as well, so we can use some of that, so that'll be great. And then we've got this page. This I actually scanned, so we can use that as well, so that'll be useful. So let's do that. I've got some lined paper here as well, so excuse me. Yep, lovely lined paper, so we'll grab that. This is lovely tea-dyed lined paper. I'm sure you can see that. Let's see, there you go. We're on to 28 minutes, so I don't want to be too long here. So I'm just going to grab a couple of sheets. And what I really wanted to do is put tea-dyed paper in there. And I've got different kind of weights of paper, tea-dyed paper as well. So, you know. Oh, that's a nice one, isn't it? We like that. I like that one. Let's use that one. I think we've got enough. I think the rest are, I do like this one as well, so I must have done some stenciling on this one, but again it's tea dyed as well, just making sure that there's enough light onto the video. I think we could just about get away with that, and if we want to add more we can do. There's no rush, right? And even I think I've got far too many already. Here's another one. I think this is a great one. This is using my boho fabrics, which I then digitised and turned into paper. So I'll be using that. And what else can I use? Yeah, so I've got this. So digitised again. So we can use this. So let's do that. I think that's going to be more appropriate really, because we've got the kind of Indian boho theme going on, and we like this one as well, don't we? So we can use that. That's some tags I've created and then I've scanned them. So I'm not sure if you can see that, but let's see if we can see that. There we go. You see that? So we can use that as well. In fact, I might just cut those out, so we'll see. Hopefully I've scanned them. I've saved the copy. Here we go. We've got another one here. So there's another one. And I'm just going to pull you back a bit. And then I've got this one as well. So this one, obviously this is a misprint because I've got some purple and brown in here. So it's not my video. This is because I love going out for walks and taking photos of obviously nature. So this is some tree bark, so we can use that as well. And then some more Indian fabric digital papers there. So I'm going to be using that. And then we've got some more bits and pieces actually, which I think is probably more relevant. Some more pieces there. So I have done some digital papers using my fabrics. I've literally scanned my fabrics and then digitized them. I've just not put them into my Etsy shop yet because when I'm printing them out they don't look very good, and my printer is super cheap, so it could be just that. So I'm kind of reluctant to put them out into my Etsy shop for people to purchase, but I'll give it another go, and if you guys really want to purchase them, then let me know and I'll make sure I do that, put them on, list them on my Etsy shop for you. So I think we've got enough papers, so I'm going to put that to one side. So let's just go through them. So we've got these. So I'm just going to get you closer. So again, I created some pockets using my fabrics and scanning them in. Okay. And then I've got a whole sheet of, I'm trying to create collages with them, and but I'm going to zoom you out a bit there. So yeah, so I tend to create collages with them and then scan them for journals. That's another one, so that's pockets. Now that is on copy paper, so that will have to be strengthened with some tea-dye paper or some cardstock. Cardstock. These are corner pockets and some belly bands, some more pockets I think, and then so let's just do that. Let's just put the Indian fabric digitals together, and then there's writing from a magazine which I've scanned. This has got a really nice texture to this. Let me just take you in so you can see that. It's all crumpled up. It's obviously printed. So there's another one. Obviously these are, some of these are too big, some of these are, so I'm going to have to cut them down to size, some of them are fine. So that's what I'll have to do. And I've got this lovely doily, tea-dyed doily as well. So I'll do that. I think I'll leave it like that. Okay. Alright, so we're good to go. So what we'll do, I'm just thinking actually, is yeah, let's work with these ones. Let's work with these ones. Okay. So I'm going to use this doily, and I'm just trying to think how to do this. So that'd be quite nice. And that was going to be the front cover, right? But I'm thinking that I might have this as a front cover. I think that is pretty cool. I'm not too worried about that because I can always do something with that afterwards. And I'm kind of liking that it's right around as well, so that could be my front cover. What do you think? I'm just going to zoom you out, so that could be my front cover actually. So we could keep these in here, but just use them as pages of some sort. So we could do that. So I'm just going to put that and see if it works. And I think it does. I think sometimes you've got to really kind of, you know, play around with the papers. I think this one's sticking out, so I'm going to take that one out. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is take those two out and put those in here. Obviously, it's not going to go like that. So we've got that. This might be a bit too small to finish because as I keep adding papers, they're going to keep coming out. So they're going to keep popping out like that. So I'm just going to put that to one side. And then this is a really nice one. So we could add that in, actually. Just thinking now. Just thinking whether this could be a nice cover. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Very plain Jane, but I can always embellish it. I think I might do that. We'll see. We'll just pop it in here anyway. You could have, yeah, potentially. I'm not sure. And then we've got these ones as well. So what I'm thinking of doing is, so I've got my covers because I can't decide which one. So, and I might just place them together like that, in fact. Or I might just cut that out and then stick it onto here. Or what I could do is I could have, even though that is nice because that's tea dye inside, I could just place that inside like that, couldn't I? And that could be my inside cover. And then I've got my, whichever way, that could be my inside and that could be my outside. I don't know. Yeah, we could go that way on it. Anyway, we could do. We'll see. So we've got the cover sorted. And we've got some nice stenciled book pages to go in as well. And then we can add some more pages in there as well. So I'm just going to fold that in half. And then I need to cut these down to size as well. So I'll be doing that as well. So we'll do that. And I like this one. So this is another digital using my fabrics. And so we can cut that down to size. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using all of these because I don't think I actually need to. And sometimes there's no rhyme or reason as to what pages you choose and what not to choose. And you know, you could just be folding up papers and then deciding which ones to leave in and which ones to take out. So, you know, I think it's just a matter of getting started, starting the process, and that's the way you learn. So yeah, these will all need to be cut down to size. And you've got to remember the spine is just one signature journal. Or could it be bigger? I don't know. You might change it up, right? But we're using the no-sew binding method, aren't we? So, and I've actually masked off the papers, haven't I? Inside. I had to do that to strengthen them anyway. So, yeah. Okay. So I could... Yeah. So... Okay, so I'm just thinking of how to go about doing this now, because there's no sewing binding method is different to actually using the sewing method, and that means you can put more papers into the no sew binding method. I could actually do that. Yeah, I could do that, but I think that's enough for now in terms of papers. I think we're gonna, and then what we're gonna do is cut some of these out potentially for pockets, and you've got the belly band papers as well. so we could do that. Now these are all teals and blues, so I guess we can stick to that theme, or we can mix and match it, I don't know. So that paper will potentially go in there, I'm thinking now. And then that cover will potentially go in, would it? So I don't know, but we'll see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of leave it there, I think. What else did I have to mention to you? So this is kind of like a short video. I do apologise. I will continue with this. So you've got the Etsy shop link with the Indian fabrics, which have been listed in there. So do take a look. So there's ribbons, there's trims in there. And there's different colours in there, different colour palettes for you to choose from. You've got the Buy Me a Coffee link on there if you wish to donate to help me keep creating these videos. And yeah, obviously don't forget to like, subscribe, and do please comment if there's anything else you'd like to see. The other thing I was thinking of doing also, which I think is really super exciting, is actually taking you out into Belgrave Road and Melton Road, which is a part of Leicester which is known as the Golden Mile. And it is beautiful, especially at Diwali time when the lights go up. We have visitors from all over the UK coming in just to see the Diwali lights on Melton Road, or the Golden Mile as they call it. And we can so I can take you into the Golden Mile. It's like a mini little India, and it's got so many sari shops, fabric shops there, and we can kind of go through into some of the shops and look at the fabrics. So if that's something you'd like me to do, then do let me know. I think it'd be great actually for you to see the different shops and the different fabrics, and just to have a look on you know, Melton Road. And you know, there's lots of lovely sweet shops there as well, so you can pop in and have a look at that. Lots of restaurants. So yeah, so you know, if you want to see a mini version of India, then I can do that for you. I can deliver that to you for free. So do let me know in the comments box, and you know, to see if there's something you'd like me to show you. So in the next video, we'll be obviously continuing with this, and I'll be a little bit more organised in doing that, so we can actually crack on with not only just finishing off and putting the papers together, although that might be done by then. We can then move on to decorating the journal, and I can show you actually the main purpose of this is to show you how to do the no-sew binding method as well. So I'll kind of focus on that, I think, and also a little bit of decorating. So I'll put these together by then, and I'll show you what I've produced by then as well, and then we can continue with the technique and also decorating the journal as well. And I'll show you some of the fabrics actually, and I'll show you some of the packs that I've got in my Etsy shop on the next video as well. So yeah, so I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. I'm actually gonna now, you know, have some water to drink and make myself a cup of tea, because I'm actually fasting today, and I have got such a bad headache, so that's why I'm gonna leave you and love you at this particular moment in time. But enjoy the rest of your day, keep creating, and yeah, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye for now, take care. Mwah.